Deb Halfrich, hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk. So as you can see, fully processing my rage against smokers. I'm now tethered to the electricity here at my favorite outlet, Posner Center. And this is an exploratory. What I realize I've got to do is be a little bit more clear, and the fucking mosquitoes is definitely, you're gonna have to deal with that again. Environmental triggers. I just cannot get a fucking break. Cannot get a fucking break. No, I have to keep my arms right here in front of me. These motherfuckers too. Be taking me out. By the way, you know, again, I've got a PDF. If anyone would fucking pay me for my work, I got a great PDF about basically the 5 forces of human hygiene. Salt, coconut oil, honey, apple cider vinegar. What am I forgetting? Baking soda. Now, the reason I'm forgetting it is because I'm still pondering. I might actually just put baking soda under salt, because it is just a salt. I mean, you don't want to have a separate category for Epsom salt. Okay? Salt is salt is salt. It's electrolytes. And then 5 will be essential oils. I'm playing around with them. There's going to be 5. Just we need to get rid of all these chemicals, man. So anyway, to deal with the intense itch of a mosquito bite, I mean, not like, you know, the healing process that will occur. I mean, geez Louise. And these things is tiny too. They're like really very piranha-like. The change in my legs in 4 days of fasting. I can't wait to see what happened by day 9. And it's kind of like, you know, again, all this happening in perfect timing, because I was ready to stuff my face. Those smokers. Is attempted murder, plain and simple. Now, of course, they don't notice. I mean, this is the thing. Nobody's paying attention to how much harm they're doing me. Us, everyone. No one's paying attention to the fact that the harm they're doing is coping strategies for the harm that they've endured. Now, this is going to be exploratory. What I want to do is challenge myself live, improv. How do I explain why carbon monoxide is in our near-in atmosphere the primary stressor of bioelectricity? You know, in some ways, carbon is the gateway gas to human illness. And nitrogen is the gateway gas to human health. And oxygen is the gateway gas to human survival. We'll work on that one. But no, see, I just did it. This is the first time right here, brand new bit. Yeah, carbon, because I was not giving up carbon being the gateway gas. I have my little note card. I have my little Allen Iverson heart in the center of coming up with that phrase. AI is the answer. Not artificial intelligence. Allen Iverson. That man, despite all y'all's erroneous judgments, got to be who he was. And he paid the price for it. It's like I'm paying the price for it. But getting to be who you are is so rare, and it's important. It's important that we celebrate the people who managed to get through this. So, Allen Iverson. Now, nitrogen's the gateway gas to human health. I mean, all y'all men, you know you take a pill called Viagra, which is just increasing the nitric oxide. That feeling, those sensations can puff out of cells all over our body. This is what being in trance does. It allows all of the positive flow and pleasure to just be part of your daily movement. And then it also allows you to process tremor-wise and appropriate rage-wise all of the stressors of this polluted, toxic civilization. And then you get into your creativity mode, which is what I'm demonstrating, right? You gotta be present to all of the harm. You gotta take action against the harm, which action can be, again, a dialogue with yourself, a Socratic dialogue with yourself. This, I'm telling you. I mean, you know, Julia Cameron was famous for morning pages. I'm be famous for live streaming yourself well. If anybody ever pays attention to me. It's a fabulous healing modality. And it makes you confront yourself. I mean, this is the thing. I know myself fully. And then the motherfucking guy with them is like, well, you could just say. No, I can't just say. No, this is a fucking medical condition. You are threatening my life right now. No, I can't just be calm. My life was in jeopardy. It will be in jeopardy for a number of days as my body processes so you know, the reason I like the phrase gateway gases is it is the truth. Okay, so we got biochemistry, which we think of, you know, neurotransmitters and all molecules in the body. We've got bioelectricity, which is all of the electrical pulses and synapses sending all of the primary operating system data around our body. Tell me, whether or not I've gotten fucking mosquito bite. Did I get off track? Apple cider vinegar. You know, the intense itch of mosquito bites. I tried everything. Honey, I forgot this. Did I say? I don't know. I was short-term memory. When you're in trance, better record yourself, because no, I think I said honey. I think it was again about the weather. Just baking soda is its own. It's a salt. This the thing. We have fucking horrible and erroneous categorizations of things in this world. That's just because men just want to be known for naming shit, right? And they be getting things wrong, and these discoverers, they started being discoverers of like all of this what we consider to be rock solid proven science. It's 140 years old. 1880s. Was as early as we could have had equipment. In 1860s, that was the trains, right? So, you know, even industrialization is it's all so new, and everything existed in the world beforehand and before men started going. As Eddie Izzard would say, "Got a flag? Well, you're not a nation then. We claim you, because we got a flag. We can Uber flag over, you know, brand new, very limited palette and set of symbols, real quick. Uber flag. That's how the motherfucking men roll. So the gases are the gateway between the biochemistry and the bioelectricity. Because it is, you and I, you can't stay alive with polluted oxygen. You've got to breathe. You've got, you know, minutes of life if you don't have the appropriate balance. You do know, you understand, right? Most of our air is nitrogen. Then a nice portion of oxygen, which is really important, and then a very small percentage of carbon. And it's just raising. Our body has no sensors for oxygen. It has a sensor for carbon dioxide. And that's how we breathe. How air stress, right? If you when the pressure builds up to breathe, that alarm is for carbon dioxide. Hello, medical discovery. The Deb theorem. Our body has far more intense alarms and signals for excess carbon monoxide coming in than it does for the buildup of carbon dioxide in our body. Because that shit will take you out. We know most of, deaths by fire are from smoke inhalation. Gates Foundation is doing everything it can to stop the deaths from, smoke inhalation in the cooking in the non-westernized nations. God, we don't even have good terms for regions of this world. We do, so dick-centric. Western European dick-centric. So being in trance is quite like being in a hunter-gatherer state. And it is lovely, and you are a kind, caring, community-oriented, interconnected being. Let me ask you a question. Did Aboriginal Australians just sprout up out of the dirt of that island? Polynesians, Hawaiians, the Mayas and Incas, the entire chain of fantastic so-called indigenous nations. Indigenous is even, it's not a slur, but it's inaccurate. There were no indigenous humans on any landmass apart from Africa. Therefore, Aboriginal Australians, Hawaiians, Mayas, Incas, Africans who went on rowabout. We want to restore the glory of Africa. If we want to not self-extinct our species, we want to restore the Africanness of Africa. Now, they're in a tech burgeoning. There's really great things going on. I mean, I don't know what you do with your online time, but I'm connected with blockchain experts and the list just goes on. I can't even figure out who to tell you about all the Africans I'm connected to. Really, the only people who pay attention to me anymore are Rwandans. Got a lot of respect for Rwanda in so many ways. And I'm down with the Black Earth Rising hypotheses that the Rwandan genocide was to do with the British and the French. their fucking nation back and forth. I mean, let me put it to you this way. The Hutus and Tutsis had beefs for many years, but they had never had a genocide. It's the pressures of this faulty, flawed, and fraudulent civilization that push humans to kill other humans en masse for financial reward. So did you get it? The gases are the gateway between the bioelectricity and the biochemistry. Because the gases' respiration are what keep us topped up with our essential molecules of nitrogen and oxygen. Carbon is an essential element in the soil. Carbon is supposed to be sequestered in the soil. Diamonds, oil, which in fact are the two big resources, the two richest nations in Africa, South Africa diamonds and Nigeria oil. We've plundered deep into the earth. Millennia. What's bigger than millennia? Of stored carbon and released it, and it has driven us bonkers into self-destruction. So what I want you to see here is, again, I can be specific about the scenario that unfolded, but yet I have not said anything about the actual people. I've described their behaviors as I experienced it, which you may think is not very kind. How am I supposed to be kind? I'm trying to not die. You see how we process things? And at a certain level, again, when I'm not flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, Lou Ferrigno will take a seat. Maybe Lou Ferrigno, I have to reach out. I've tried everything. Kenneth Johnson. Sorry I called you George the other day. There's a reason for that, by the way. But it's a personal reference. Again, no way I could tell how long it's been. Neither the biochemistry nor the bioelectricity can function without optimized gases. You're just not alive if your gases aren't optimized. I am body, therefore I am. I'm going to reunite the Cartesian split and ensure we bring the soul right back in, because as I mentioned earlier, religion needs to go away. I mean, Nietzsche said God was dead. Again, in like 1880s, none of y'all listened. It's time to listen. Faith doesn't have to go away, but organized religion, for the most part, let's say the two big, Christian and Islam, harm factories. Because of the frameworks that the men built. And yeah, I guess we can, say Middle Eastern men have something to do with that. And somebody recently told me about the Quran, that it was just about wars and battles. I do not ever mean to say that we haven't evolved as civilizations. There was a point in time when hunters and gatherers, we were all really cool. And then somewhere in the last millennium, let's say, or two, that's all. I mean, Christianity is 20, 21 years old by definition. as things progressed, as we got more and more advanced in certain things, like we put all of that advancement into war versus love. That's the downfall. It made sense in some ways that we would have stranger danger for quite some time. But yet we also didn't really operate entirely from that, because that's how Africans who went on row-about populated everything. And they had to go back and forth, right? Because there was no peoples there to reproduce with. And there had to have been, you know, a relatively, and especially for large civilizations, Incas, Mayas. You know, one of my LinkedIn friends is called Inca. A Nigerian name. And I would say most humans would say that a great deal of Nigerian names seem oriental. Migration went that away. I even have an evolutionary reason for Asian eyes. Altitude. Himalayas, you had, imagine crossing the Himalayas. Imagine the degree of sunlight. You was crossing on foot. Maybe a mule or two, a yak here and there. It was a long-term evolution that took a long fucking bloody time. Yeah. All the tennis players, a significant portion, I'm not safe at saying 90% of the Asian males are wearing glasses playing tennis. You see, we are all so similar, and we are utterly different. And it looks like a storm is threatening, so I'm gonna say harmony.